Alright, so in this video, I'm going to be funding my Nightlord Boss Mule. It has literally like nothing on it. 3k luck, barely any gear. It's not potted, not anything like that. And I'm going to be using the Maple Island gear. I'm sure a lot of you have been seeing this new strategy for funding Boss Mules going around. I'm going to be showing you how to get all of the items and how they actually perform on a Boss Mule. Now, gotta give credit where credit's due. I first saw this on Hallie Reboot's channel. Make sure to check his video out and check his channel out. He makes great videos. And if you guys have no idea what's going on, I'll explain to you how this new funding works for Boss Mules. So right now, as of making this video, there's the 19th Maple Anniversary event. And in this event, you can get a lot of old school gear. So, for example, you could get this Onyx gear and treasure gear, right? And if you hover over the treasure gear, you see that there's a set effect, right? And the set effect is the stuff that's on the right of the gear. Like, you know, if you wear multiple pieces of the same set of gear, you get bonus effects like attack and ID and all that stuff. So basically what this funding strategy is you use the Maple Onyx set and the Maple Treasure set together to gain a lot of damage for free without having to go out of your way to get any really difficult gear like Apsos or Golux. And I wanted to make this video to show you guys how this gear set actually performs in a real boss mule setting. So I'm going to actually be doing the bosses, and I'm going to actually be spending money on the gear and funding the character in this video. Hallie Reboot's video is great. It explains what the set effects do, how much attack and other bonus stats you get from them. But I want to show you how that gear actually translates into real bossing and if it's a valid way of funding your boss mules or not. So the first thing you're going to need is 600 maple leaves, either 2 days of capping or you just cap once on a Sunday. And obviously you're going to need to unlock all of the required gear by farming and getting the boxes that drop and opening them up. So the first thing we're going to want to buy is the Onyx set. So the Onyx set, you buy the hat, you buy the gum, the ring, the pendant, the belt, and the secondary. So for me, since I'm a Nightlord, I'll buy the secondary. Keep in mind, if you're a new class that doesn't have this old school gear, you will not be able to do this. So now that we got these 6 pieces of gear, we're gonna need to buy the treasure set. So the treasure set is the shoes, the gloves, cape, shoulder, pendant, and weapon. Now, for me, I already have the CRA set, which is what you upgrade the weapon to eventually. So I have all these pieces of gear, right? So if I put them all on, you're going to see when I hover over the treasure set, I have the 6 set, right? Which in total gives me a bunch of attack, a bunch of damage, a bunch of all stat, right? And for the Onyx set, it's the same thing. I get the 6 set, gives me a bunch of attack, bunch of damage, and 30 IED on the 6 set, which is very important. Now, to make this set even stronger, you ultimately would equip the CRA weapon and the lucky hat that you can get from CRA. So if you don't know what a lucky hat is, at the bottom in orange, you'll see it says this lucky item counts towards any set. So what that means is any set effect that has a hat in it. So for example, in the Onyx set, it has the regular Onyx hat. This Chaos Vellum hat can take that slot instead. And since it's also part of the CRA set, you get the 4 set CRA. So if you look at the right, it says a set that is applied, Maple Treasure set, Root Abyss set, and Onyx Maple set. So it's triple dipping in 3 different sets. So what this allows me to do is it allows me to get the 4 set bonus from CRA. It allows me to get the 6 set bonus from Maple Treasure set. And it allows me to get the 6 set bonus from the Maple Treasure set. So I just bought the weapon just for demonstration purposes because before you kill CRA, obviously you're not going to have any of the CRA gear, but you can kill CRA with the Maple Treasure set alone and with no top and bottom. But this is what this funding ultimately looks like in terms of gear. You have the 4 set CRA, you have the 6 set treasure set, and you have the 6 set Onyx set. Now, you can also get to the 5 set from the boss accessory set, but I don't have enough pieces for it. So we're going to be funding this character despite that. And I'm going to be showing you how strong this Nightlord can be with just these items from the event and just a few basic items that you get from like Chaos Horntail or from like Enzak. So I have 3.3 Bill Mesos here, farmed it on my main, and I'm going to be using this to be funding this gear. So what I'm going to be doing on most of the items, besides the weapon secondary to emblem, is just getting it to rare or epic and getting 3 to 6% stat on it right now. So I'm just going to put pot scrolls on all of it and use these free mystical cubes to roll between 3 to 6% stat. Now that everything has a potential on it, I'm going to be putting a stamp on all the items so I could get 3 lines. Okay, since everything is stamped, I'm going to be rolling for anywhere between 3 to 6% luck. Okay, so I'm going to go over all my gear now. I finished potting them. Took about 300 or something mystical cubes, maybe a little more. So I just went for like 1 line on everything. Some of the items tiered up to epic as I was cubing them. So got a little lucky. But yeah, now that it's all 1 line stuff, I'm just going to 10-star everything real quick. Okay, so now that everything is 10-starred, some items can only go to 8 stars, so they're only at 8 stars. We've gone up like 300k CP, which is pretty good. And this is actually already a pretty decent amount of funding to be able to kill smaller bosses like Hardhilla or maybe Ensig. But what I like to do on my boss mules is I like to get the weapon, secondary, and emblem to legendary, because those give a tremendous amount of damage if you just get even 1 line of attack or a line of attack with boss or something like that. So far we've spent very little mesos, under 100 mil, and you could already kill some of the bosses in the game just with this configuration. I barely have any arcane force as well, if anybody was wondering. And if anybody was wondering why I'm on a Night Lord out of every boss mule, it's to show you that even a not super high tier boss mule can do pretty well with this funding. So Night Lord being a burst class is not a super favorable boss mule. Something like a Buck would be a much stronger option for a boss mule. But I'm going to be doing it on a Night Lord just to show you what something in the middle of the pack towards lower end of the pack can do with a little bit of funding from this Maple Treasure set and Maple Onyx set. But what I'm going to be doing right now is I'm going to be cubing my emblem to legendary and my secondary and my weapon and see what I can roll on them. Okay, they're all at legendary. I spent about 1 bill to get them to legendary. Granted, I did get pretty lucky. Usually it costs more than that to get to legendary, but yeah, so here I am at legendary now. I'm gonna try to roll for, on my weapon and my secondary, a line of attack with a line of boss, and on my emblem, probably a line of attack with ID, or maybe just 2 lines of attack or something like that. Anything that's pretty good, I guess. Alright, so I finished cubing. Did cost quite a lot, but I am a greedy player, to be honest. A lot of people probably would just get 1 line attack or 1 line boss, but I like to try and get 2 usable lines. So my weapon has boss and attack on it, my secondary has attack, and my emblem has attack and 30 ID. The luck helps a little bit as well. Now, in terms of flames really don't matter that much on gear. If you really want just a little extra boost, you can flame your gear just to have literally any amount of whatever your main stand is. The main thing to flame is your weapon though. Your weapon, just try to get a bit of attack on it. It does help just a tiny bit. You don't have to spend too much. I'll show you right now. So I'm just gonna buy like 5 flames and just any amount of attack I can get. I'm just gonna stop. Okay, 16 attack there, done. Like just that bonus bit of attack can go a long way. So now that all the gear is sorted out, I have the CRA set, I have the treasure set, the Onyx set, and my WSC is 2 usable lines. Let's talk about nodes. So you'll notice that my nodes are pretty freaking good on this character, and there's a reason for that. And in a future video I'm going to be making on when you should be funding boss mules, I truly believe that you shouldn't really be doing boss mules unless you have a lot of extra nodes. So your mains nodes are pretty much maxed, and you want to put extra nodes on a different character, or there's a bunch of event nodes you could put on another character. A lot of these nodes I got from events, whether it was all of the XP nodes that we got or the nodes that we got from the Fairy Bros. And I was able to get this character's nodes to be really good with all of those free resources. And the reason why I believe that you should wait till you have a lot of nodes on a boss mule is it just makes everything so much easier. You don't have to overfund. I spent around 2.5 bill on this character, and I'm probably not going to be spending any more on it. So 2.5 bill, and this character can make me 1 bill every week. I'll start profiting after 3 weeks. And after that, it's just straight money. This is the Legion setup that I'm going to be using. Since I don't plan to be doing Lomian on this character, I just put the blocks into buff duration because it has enough IED already. And Nightlord can benefit from buff duration a pretty good amount because the AB link lasts for their burst longer. These are the link skills that I'm going to be using, pretty standard links on a random character. So what I'm going to be doing is I have this stopwatch here right next to me, and I'm going to be doing all of the bosses besides Lomian, and maybe not Akechi as well. And I'm going to show you how long it's going to take me to do them. So first things first, I'm going to show you what buffs I'm going to be using. I would highly recommend joining a guild. If you have a guild that has some G skills, it's better than nothing. And I'm going to be using red and green pot, a lot of free resources that'll just make my boss meal a lot faster. I'm going to be using a Legion Might because I have good Legion and I can afford it. And I'm going to be getting a chair buff because it's free attack. You could just fame someone and get free attack. Boom. So these are the buffs I'm going to be using. And let's see how long it takes me to kill all the bosses on my Nightlord. So it's been 26 minutes and 40 seconds about, and I have done Zach, Magnus, Hilla, CRA, Pink Bean, Cygnus. But if you've noticed, I haven't done Papulatus. So those of you who are pretty observant have seen that I wiped right at the end of Pap like an idiot. But basically, I was in there for the entirety of the boss. So if I were to have killed Pap, it would have been around 27 minutes total to kill all of these bosses. I will go back and kill Pap right now, but keep in mind that this is just for demonstration purposes, and it would have taken around 27 minutes on my Night Lord to kill all of those bosses with just this gear. So keep in mind that this is not a funding guide for something like Lomian or something like that. It's only until basically Pap, CRA, all those types of bosses. And when you sell all the crystals, if I had the Pap crystal, I would have made another 132 mil. So in total, I spent 2.5 bill and I would have made around 740 mil. Another thing that I didn't get a crystal for was Vellum. I did Vellum in practice mode because I already did it previously in the week, just so it could be added onto the time total. And therefore, I didn't get a Vellum crystal. So the total would be another 105 mil on top of what we have so far because of the Vellum crystal. With this boss mule, with incredibly low funding, with very low funding, right? In terms of gear, I didn't really get any Apsos. I didn't get any Golux. So you can get a mule like this up and running in 1 day, assuming you have the nodes and assuming you have the Mesos. Now, I'm only level 210 as well. If I was a higher level, I could put on more V skills, would be even stronger. And Night Lord, like I said earlier, is one of the lower end boss mules, I would say, at low level. So if I were something like a Buck or a Hero or a Shadower, it would have been much faster and it would have been much more effective. But yeah, hopefully this video helped. I didn't want to just make another copy paste of the same type of video that Hallie Reboot made. I didn't want to just make a video on just go get this. I wanted to show you guys how this gear actually performs on a real boss mule. I spent my money on it. I got all the gear and did all the bosses just to show you guys how it could be done. I'm around 1.2 mil CP and you saw all the gear earlier in the video. If you have any questions, please let me know. Personally, I think this is a very, very good way of getting a bunch of CRA boss mules set up when you're early into the game, and eventually long term, you could get them stronger and make them do Lomian. But I really think this is a very, very effective way to get CRA boss mules going, and this event lasts until June 12th, so you have until then to do it. If you see this video far into the future and this gear is not available, it's all good. I will have another boss mule funding guide that you can look at that I'll be working on in the future. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please let me know, and if you have any questions, also please let me know. But with that, I'll see you guys. Thank you so much to my goats, Blazefire, Shooms, Uju, Shagad, Ravi Espa, Grim 4K, Koga, Pabo, Piconir, Jesse, and Niles. I appreciate you guys so much.